I think we should have a video on for this one. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Wherever you are in the world today, I hope you are absolutely okay. I hope you're okay. There's a lot of stuff going down. I've been chatting to people, and everyone's going through something. People are losing good members of their family to some interesting diseases. Our neighbor's grandchild, who's 9 years old, got leukemia, and he was perfectly healthy over the Christmas period. Like, a lot of stuff is going down, a lot of people are hurting, and in South Africa in particular, things are getting quite crazy as well. There's something called the Bella Bill that got released yesterday, as well as the new health legislation where privatization of schooling and healthcare have been eradicated, which means everything's going to be on the same level, which basically means that South Africa is sliding into a communist country under the scenes. It's not public knowledge yet. Not everyone's talking about it around the barbecue, but the bills were released yesterday, and a rebellion backlash is on its way. I can just tell. Not only that, everything's getting more expensive. We've got inflation plus fuel plus everything is just on its way up. And I think it's by design. I think the elite are trying to squeeze the system to push in their one world coin, their global agenda, that the one world government sort of thing, as if it wasn't under one government anyway. Because the powerful hide in the shadows. Let's not kid ourselves that the presidents actually have any decision making power. They're just salespeople, just puppets on the front end. Anyway, so a lot of frustrating shit is going down. And I've been speaking in a place of grace and elation about the markets being future proof and something that we can rely on in the future. However, they are still a bunch of assholes. Okay. And I know this to be true because a typical trading thing happened to me yesterday where I saw the turning point was coming to an end. So I got into a position there for 5 times the normal amount that I've been putting in lately. So I feel like, and this happens to a lot of people actually. Let me just go to my Discord to see if that is available, if I can share it real quick. Testimonials. Discord sucks because you have to open images in browser. That's why Telegram is much better. All right, so I'm not sure if you guys can see the text over here, but just to keep it relative, one of the members have got an absolute incredible win streak. $600, $900, $600, keeping in, and then a minus 2,000 or minus $1,100 and minus $600. So it's super frustrating how this can happen, not only to me but to other people as well. As my point for showing that. And basically what I'm talking about is you can keep it conservative and you can keep it very much in a managed state where you are doing the right thing, you're responsible, you're utilizing a small amount, and the results are coming through, which is really exciting and awesome to see. And then you make a more confident trade, and that one confident trade tends to not work out, and all that time that you spent, all that focus, all of the patience, all of the emotions, all of the things that you're going through gets wiped out by that one. So this happened to me last night. So I was getting all my wins in and it was fantastic and I felt great. I felt unstoppable. And then this bullshit can happen. So I got into the position here. Price went down. I was ready for a turning point. Everything looked good. And then what had happened is that price didn't turn there. And in fact, let me just get rid of that actually. And in fact, went across to there, hit my stop loss, and then went down. All right. So after I saw I was right and I saw this market reposition and the market correction, what I did was then open up a new trade to benefit from that because I was right overall. The turning point was coming in. Turning point 9 and then 10 moving on to the next leg up was inevitable. So I got into the position and said, this time I'm not going to muddle with it. I'm going to instead just utilize the my wife's very persistent when she needs something. The software to close the position. And basically that was where I left it up to happenstance. I employed my code to close the position as per the requirements of MTOPS. And I started the computer this morning, and instead of seeing that win, that would have been about $850, so I would have made up for the loss I had made. I saw that my computer just decided to restart, which it's only gotten into the habit of doing over the last 6 days. So for that reason, what I'm trying to get to is that a lot of people are suffering in their ways, in a lot of ways. If it's personal, if it's worried about the holidays coming up because summer's coming up and they've already paid for accommodation and flights, but the money to get them through the vacation isn't quite there and they have to try and find it. Jobs are changing super fast. The mega tech companies are getting stronger and stronger, and the world's changing at a very rapid pace. And I took all of that in, and I felt super overwhelmed this morning by just that freak out. And obviously we got a new kid on the way, so that initial joy is like massive, and then the realization that another kid's on the way kicked in, and like, oh crap, I better pull things together and pull things together fast. But I thought I was alone in that, and I'm not. I think we're all going through something. So with that, I say, guys, especially who are part of the community, there's different rooms for you to communicate in. We've got the Win Gallery, which is fantastic, and it's just nice to share the good feelings of how crazy it is that we can forecast the future of price action before it happens and then the profit that comes with it. But there's also the Fail Gallery, right? There's also casual chat. There's also different rooms to communicate what you're going through, and obviously questions for me and so on and so forth. So what I'm saying is that the important thing to remember during this crazy time of transition and disruption and everything that's going on globally is that we are a community. We don't have to be a community, but we can be a community. We don't have to go at this alone. We don't have to take on the barrage of unnecessary stress on individual shoulders. Go out for the guys who are paid members of a community in particular, and just share what you're going through. Share the bad stuff, the losses. I'll share some right now as well, because too many traders like to pretend that everything's hunky-dory. There it is. There's my $500 loss. I got into position, market repositioned itself. It went just a little bit up, and then took me out position. I would have closed for a good $700, but unfortunately the code didn't fire because my computer unexpectedly effing restarted, and then moved to the upside, and then took me out just above with the wick again. So these freaking wicks, guys, not the body of the candle, just an irritating wick. Bloop, bloop, came up, took me out beyond my entry point for minus $63. And all that kind of stuff. So, like, when that happens, I can't do anything about it. I can't write to Congress and say, hey, guys, guess what? It's not fair. I should have got this, but I'm being bullied by Wix and all this kind of rubbish that's going on. Like, I can't go to my friendship circle because they don't even know what crypto does, that I can we eat it? You know what I mean? Like, and then going to my wife, like, if she had a universal remote control, she would just come up to me and say, "Oh, you pissed off about a trade again?" Beep, mute, power down. You know what I'm saying? So like, she's tired of hearing the emotions that I go through for stuff that I'm doing right and then not getting rewarded for. And that's just the nature of the trading side of things. So as I spoke about through my experience and all the kind of stuff, get out of here. The technicalities of trading itself is a different world of difficult than what it is to forecast the charts. Okay, so the charts have got their kind of ebbs and flows, and we got you're either wrong or you're right, or readjustments. And like for the most part, I've got it down, except for when these silly wicks come into play. All right, so for the most of it, 9 out of 10 times, I've got that down. Forecasting, spent a lot of time, effort, and energy, books, paid courses, paid software, you name it. Learned all the wrong ways to find the right ways, and put that all together into strategy. That's pretty decent, but that's charting. Okay, the trading side of things is an absolute nightmare if you don't get wrong right, because the patience of waiting to get into a good trade, the requirements of holding open a good trade, like it's energetically draining if you're manually closing it yourself, as well as the technicalities of what can go wrong, internet dropping off, computer unexpectedly restarting, the for whatever reason the software that you're using is going through an update, or it unexpectedly just didn't fire. Now you got to troubleshoot and debug and try to figure out what the hell is going on there as well. There's different languages. It's just there's a whole bunch of technicalities in the world of trading that you need to overcome. It's not about these silly competitions like, oh, who can depict where Bitcoin's going to be in a week's time, that kind of stuff. That's just a slither of the talent that is required on the market. So guys, two things. One is that once you make this your primary income, you need to be ready for that. No one's there to absorb your tears when there's a minus losses that aren't even your fault on the books. The pressures of winning is super, super high, and the truth of it is that you're at the mercy of the market, and you should be gracefully willing to receive whatever it is that you get gifted by from the market, because trying to plan too heavily around market conditions that consolidate for days, I mean, I was right 6 days ahead of time. And the question is, what about the 5 days leading up? Okay, what are you going to do? You're going to sit back and do nothing? You got to hear everyone needing money. Oh, we need to upgrade. That'll be nice to get this. Did you see this on Amazon? I want to get the new one. Like, are you going to be able to be steadfast and disciplined through that period? It's hard, I can tell you right now. It's not this is not a motivation talk. This is like, let's get real talk. The world is in shambles. Like, people are calling the end of days, all this rubbish. I guess you always get those people who do always call the end of days and so on. But like, if trading is going to be there for you, like, don't overinvest. I've got guys who are bitter because they were not ready in their core. They were not mentally ready to trade. And so what they did was act from impatience, act from emotion, act from all of these elements that are not going to get you where you need to get to in the real world. And then they just lost their capital holdings out of revenge trades and stupid stuff like that. Like, these are all part of the course and journey per personal experience to overcome. So what I'm saying is that with the pressures of the world, and there are many, and with those who are looking to make trading their primary income, which again, I do somehow, that's the other part. The first part's kind of covered. I also do recommend you guys get good at this. You are dealing, or you're fortunate enough to have a future-proof environment that's going to provide a way of making money going forward. Okay, how you do so is with correct asset allocation. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Correct risk size and position sizing. Have the right technology to support you, so you're not manually doing everything yourself. Because hey, I'm on the thing. Shush. World stress all the time. Unnecessary. Irritating. So basically what I'm saying is that there's external factors. You got the kids who are tired. A kid can't go to school because he's sick. Dogs are unnecessarily barking for no reason. And you're trying to focus. And then let's say, for example, if you forget a digit, you don't put a decimal in the right place, your stop loss goes wrong, or you're thinking into a winning trade, but your target's off, so your target automatically fires. Like, the trading side of thing is a make or break, can kill your environment mainly, and no one wants to hear about it. So what I'm saying is that, guys, at MTOPS, utilize the Discords, express yourself. Sharing is caring, even if it's bad. We are human after all, and human isn't 100% good. Human's not 100% bad. It's just oscillation somewhere in the middle. And during these uncertain times where prices increase, where more civil unrest comes to, I know in South Africa, there's going to be a whole thing kicking off soon. And I know in many places of the world, they've got their own problems. I think Brazil is dealing with floods. We got the wars in the European areas, and so on. So come together is what I'm saying. Find a community. If you guys aren't a part of the paid community, find brothers and sisters from different parts of the world who are going through similar stuff, and just communicate, share, virtually hug those who are interested in the same space, who are going through similar stuff. Your family doesn't want to hear about a shitty trade anymore. Like they tone deaf to your woes, the technicalities and stuff. Like every time my wife goes up to me, she gives me a nice warm hug and she says, "Are you okay? I can tell that you're stressed." I'm like, freaking trading. Da, 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 da. She's like, she just like immediately like shuts off. She's like, because there's nothing they can do about it. There's nothing that anyone else can do about it. You can't write to Apple and say, "Hey guys, you owe me money because the computer restarted." Like, it's absolutely 100% your problem. And if it's deserved or not, you still got to take it on the chin in any case. So the world has gone pivoting, and it's going to do so for the next number of years. Don't expect things just to get immeasurably better overnight. Like, there's going to be a transition, and when there's a transition, things get confusing. Stuff goes down, and how we can help each other through that: common interest, sucking up the pain, sharing the pain. When someone's having a better day than another person, it just takes a few words of upliftment to get you back in the zone. And of course, try and automate as much as possible. I'm going to have to look at VPS operations now, so I can offset this, so I don't have to put too much dependency on my local machine. And I recommend doing all the same for yourselves. Get involved with whatever it takes for you to win. Okay, the language models are crazy. Like, the intelligence of them, it is smarter, in my opinion, than any one educator I've ever been educated by. These LLMs are taking over in terms of knowledge and experience. Because, I mean, OpenAI, they've got 100 million active users feeding back on a day-to-day basis. All right. So what educator anywhere that studied the entire internet at hyperspeed will be able to give you a fraction of quality and intellectual capacity in comparison to where the AI models are today, not 3 years from now, right now? And then there's Gemini also ramping up, and Llama ramping up, and Claude 3 ramping up. But obviously, OpenAI for me is just like, I support the originals, and I really appreciate their development at the moment. And the latest release on Monday, just by the way, I'm using with the code I've been working on, and it feels as if I'm communicating with a colleague, a professional colleague. So that's someone at the gate. Okay, this is, again, dogs, children, someone at the gate, someone who needs this, wife who needs the keys. Like, that's the kind of stuff you got to deal with in real life trading. And I'll recommend automating the process to support you as best possible, including the quirks like Wix and all the things that you're going through. The trading journal that you write yourself, take another clean page and have everything that should be there to help you overcome that. So that's my rant today. It is the weekend. I wish you well. Please take some of my advice. This is real world stuff. This is not hype coins and ICOs, whatever. This is the real version of what goes down. And I hope you get value from it. And again, reach out, just recreate community, and I'll see you next week.